racing. Waradom a little bit slowly away. Entefea towards the near side. The green cap got a good start. Morjazale is also prominent. Ursula tracks across in the sheepskin noseband. The black and white colours of Awejan also prominent, and getting across as well from a wide gate is Fidea, and it's Fidea, the green and yellow stripes, that leads them to Awejan, the black. Then up the inside, Morjazale in the green jacket. Towards the outer, trying to get into a posse, is Awejan as well. Also towards the outer too, we have Tamame, who's trying to go forward as well as they start to make the turn here, and the leaders with Fidea too. In second position, Awejan. They're then followed in third spot by Tamame, who's still very much up there. Also there is Morjazale, the green jacket. Bit of a gap then to Waradon, one of the slow starters, looking to try and get involved. Zarat Teshreen right round the outside. The red sleeves gets a little bit closer as well. So they're starting to make the turn now. And out in front, hitting the front, is Awejan by a couple of lengths. Quickly now, tiring is Fidea, who's going backwards. Morjazale is trying to stay on from the back. Then Zarat Teshreen and also Waradon. Alnez is getting into this late as well. But it's Awejan that leads in the closing stages. Morjazale is taking aim, hanging towards the centre of the track though. So it's Awejan, the 17, that leads to Morjazale. Here comes Alneza from the back of the field, who's absolutely flying. Awejan and Alneza. Awejan needs the line. Alneza is flying. Also from the back, Dante from a different part of the Arabian Peninsula, but it's Alneza that wins. They're off and racing, and Stanley Street got away quite well actually. Also prominent in the early stages, a Randas in the sheepskin noseband, won quite a few sheepskin nosebands in the races. Also prominent is Loyal Friend in the dark blue and black colours as they make their way through the early stages. Hayit has also shown really good pace. Camilo Ospina once again, wide draw, gets into a lovely posse in the twinkling of the proverbial eye. Then after that, just tracking them, we've got Aldiwan in the light blue colours, and they're then followed towards the outside by the reserve Mekbas, who's got a good posse in the early part of the race. So too is Saad Al Wasil. Field trails all the way back to Saudi Anna, who's just about the back marker at the moment, and also Shehan doesn't have too many behind it as they start to make the turn. Here appearing in the front rank is Play for Time, and it's Play for Time, the black with the striped sleeves, who leads. To Hayit round the outside, the green cap. Then up the inner, Stanley Street, who's running a pretty good race on debut, win, lose or draw. Then after that, Speedy Monster, who's just tagged on to the leading trio. They're then followed by Waktuk, and the rest have all got loads to do from there. And it's Hayit that comes through to hit the front, but Camilo got away well and is now travelling nicely as they come towards the closing stages. But here comes Speedy Monster with the experience. Also staying on from the back of the field now is Waktuk, who's really making up good ground down the centre of the track. Hayit leads. Waktuk though is finishing well. Hayit leads by a couple of lengths as they go inside the final half furlong. Camilo Ospina on a first starter. Waktuk is the only danger now, racing up towards the line. Hayit gets in. And the gate's back and they're underway, and a terrible start from Kahila Aldam, reared up at exactly the wrong moment, has come out very awkwardly as well and is already tailed off, far from ideal. Yasmi Athbar has gone on here, the blue headgear. Also prominent is Nadam Al-Mulk Al-Haladir. They're then followed up the inside by Alda Jorda, who's racing in third spot, but racing a little bit awkwardly. Then in fourth position we have Shafa Al-Hezam for Asil Al-Sahani. The rest just a little bit out of touch at the moment. They're headed by Tagruda. Also there we have Alanud, who's getting a little bit closer in the blue jacket. But one or two of these have got a little bit to do in the early stages as they make their way around the top third in this 1400 metre contest. And it's Nadam Al-Mulk Al-Haladir that leads to a driven along now Yazbi Athbar in second position. Then towards the outside, the pink saddlecloth of Shafa Al-Hezam gets a little bit closer. Then Al-Dafa Jorda, they're well clear of Tagruda. Trying to get into this race round the outside is Hazal as well. But this leader goes very nicely out in front. Nadam Al-Mulk Al-Haladir to in second position now Alhambra. or Shafar Al-Izam, I should say, moving into second. Nothing doing at all from Yazmi Akbar, who started well, but hasn't finished the race particularly convincingly at all. So it's Nadam Al-Haladia who's well clear and piling it on out in front. The further they go, the further clear this one goes. Nadam Al-Haladia, racing up towards the line, is in a different county. 20 to 25 lengths clear as they go to the line. It's horse number 5, Nadam Al-Haladia, geared down to win. And they're off and racing. Oh, veering out very badly was Alaham and careered into one or two of those. Al-Shah's wasn't helped by all that going on as they make their way through the early stages of this mile contest. Mahood has shown plenty of professionalism on debut and has come through just about lead at the inside. Also prominent in the early stages is Moad, showing good pace. Towards the outer, getting into a prominent posse, is My Runner in the green colours. Also towards the outside, trying to get a good position, is Call Me Mischievous from a very wide draw. Also there is Kamra Al-Mohammadiyah. So there's quite a lineup here as they make their way through the early stages. Field trails back to Samu, who's the back marker. Not too far in front of Samu is a rumour as well as they make their way towards the turn out of the back straight. We're about 6 abreast here, and it's Moad who's just about the leader. To in second position, Al-Shah's, who's now moved into a decent posse after that somewhat unfortunate beginning. Mahood's up the inside, having lost a place or two. Now driven along towards the outside is My Runner, being asked a question. Then towards the outside, looking to get in it, is Zilyar as well. As they start to make the turn, Kamra Al-Mohammadiyah is going the scenic route and taking the turn 6 wide. They're swinging for home now, though, and out in front it's Moad, the blue jacket. To round the outside now, Zilyar getting into this in second. In between the pair of those, My Runner, who's trying to box on but only finding the one pace. Now trying to stay on from a position towards the rear of the field is Ala Yabarek, who's getting into it as well. But the lead in the latter stages with Moad. Moad still by a couple of lengths. To in second position, Zilyar. Now down the centre of the track, Thara Naj, who was quite slowly away, but is now staying on very strongly, and it's Thara Naj. So over on the far side, Ala Yabarek, and Thara Naj, they've paired off, racing up towards the line. Ala Yabarek, another one for Ospina. Very pedestrian out the gates. Niazi has lost a good 3 or 4 lengths in the early stages as they make their way through the early parts of the race, and Win Spree has shown good early pace, as indeed as In Baha, and it's In Baha towards the near side that leads at the moment. To Abu Rakan, the red jacket, towards the outside in second. Then Jahura, the green cap, who's got away quite well. Also prominent is Alea Al-Elam in the sheepskin noseband, the orange cap. Then right round the outside, going into a prominent position too, on the outer of them is Gar Al-Ma'ali, the black cap. So that's your leading sextet or so. Bit of a gap back to the rest. One that's forcing into a more prominent position is Roland, right round the outside. Then we have Jama Al-Mohammadiyah, who's towards the back of the field. The slow starting Niazi is still just about the back marker. Also towards the rear is Rams Twig. Camillo Ospina will need to perform a miracle to win from them, he thinks, as they start to make the swing for home. And the lead is now with Abu Rakan, the red jacket, who's gone on. To In Baha up the inside in second. Then in third position, Alea Al-Alem, who is now trying to stay on. Right round the outside, still trying to maintain a posse is Win Spree, but it's hard work. Here now is Moetta getting into it, the red jacket, the blue saddlecloth, suddenly finding a lovely seam down the centre of the track. So it's Moetta that goes on for Ricardo Pereira. Then down the centre as well, Jama Al-Mohammadiyah, still persevering is Win Spree. Now staying on from the back is Arkadli as well. And here over on the far side is Jahura as well. But it's Moetta who leads by a couple of lengths and might have just now eked out a decisive advantage and racing up towards the line. Moetta is going to be too strong for them. Moetta has scored. No, they're not. They've gone without the 12, racing without the 12. They're off, and rather slowly away as well was Matnook as they make their way through the early stages. Good beginning from Montreal. That one has moved forward into a prominent posse. Also there is Simo in the early stages. Montreal and Simo, that's your leading duo. Followed then up the inside by Halar, who's going quite well as well. Also in a prominent position in the early stages is Sokut as they make their way through the first 400 metres or so. Towards the outside, Sarden from a wide draw is trying to float down, but having problems doing that, and looks like will be trapped out wide as they come to the bend. Farhoud is in the orange jacket, racing in around about 6th spot at the moment, followed then by Sultan Road. Back marker at the moment is Fiber. Also towards the rear of the field, Kontar and Rams Al Wasil as they start to make the turn. It's Simo's gone on here to Montreal up the inside, who can't find much of a gap. Then right round the outer, Sarden in the sheepskin noseband, who's moving pretty menacingly. So it's Sarden that leads, to Simo in second. Montreal, the green cap, now just getting the hurry up in third. Then Halar, who's in fourth, is now coming past Montreal, who's been into fade on Saudi debut. As they make the turn, it's Sarden who's travelling strongly and goes on into a 3/4 of the length lead. To Simo in second, now staying on in third spot. Halar needs to find 3 or 4 lengths, but is now getting going. As they come towards the closing stages now, it's Sarden straight across to this 15 draw, still leading them, but Halar continues to make progress. 2 lengths to find. Sarden and Halar from the back of the field. Karam Alanea is getting going late as well, but Sarden, who was a nice winner on debut, has backed up here and scores. And they're off and racing. Starter caught them in a pretty good line there, although I say that Thieb Algarar was a little bit slowly away. That's one of the slower starters. And also it looks like Saitama was very slowly away. No, it's not Saitama, I do apologise. It's Aidan Castle who was a little bit slowly away as they make their way through the early stages. One that's definitely got away well though is New Treasure in the red colours. Also there is Freshwater Cliffs in the orange and blue. They're then followed right up the inside by Star. Didn't start very well at all, drawing clocks, the one in the same ownership. That's got a dickens of a lot of work to do to get involved from there. Mujir around the outside in the maroon and green. Bit of a gap back then developing to the next tranche of runners headed by Riyadh Spirit. Also there as well as Loving Feeling, not too far away, the white and green colours with a sheepskin noseband. Then Thieb Algarar, the white cap, who's recovered from that slightly pedestrian start. Al Mutib is round the outside as well. They're then followed by the blue and yellow colours of Burnish, who's mid-div at the moment. Another one that's in mid-div is Maker of Light in the blue and white jacket. Right towards the outside in the white and red is Gainline. At the moment, towards the rear of the field is Drawing Clocks, who got a terrible start and is still well off the pace, and indeed is the slow starter Aidan Castle. So they're starting to make the turn here, and Kuthni Mac in the green colours has now come along to join New Treasure. Kuthni Mac and New Treasure, followed then by Mujir, still Freshwater Cliffs, the orange and blue pretty prominent. They're then followed in 5th position by Burnish. Now getting going right round the outside is Al Mutib, the 16 horse, but it's Freshwater Cliffs who's gone on now in the orange and blue colours, leads by a couple of lengths. Right round the outside now though, getting into this is Motta Fared from the back of the field. Look at this one on the scene late. So it's Freshwater Cliffs and Motta Fared. It's Motta Fared and Ayad Al Turissi who's hit the front and quickly goes on. Motta Fared by 3 or 4 to Freshwater Cliffs, who's run an honest race in second, but has absolutely no answer whatsoever to Motta Fared, who's clearing away to win this in a very, very taking fashion. They are off and racing now, and a pretty solid start from Tabar Fail, the favourite, who moves into a relatively prominent position in the early stages, as indeed is Taranim Al-Yays, and also prominent there is Gashamar. So the horses towards the inside have all got away pretty well. Another one that's moving into a prominent position early is Fasayel in the blue sleeves. The red jacket of Hasna Ale Red is also quite prominent, as indeed is Istitea in the yellow distinguishing cap. So following through White Stable Companion there, the favourites. And also there in the early stages is Leia Ayunak as they go through the early part of this valuable race. Yay Azima is towards the back of the field, and also right at the back is Anze. Those two comprehensively outpaced at the moment. Our Alanair is pushing on up the inside in the yellow and black colours to lead, to Tabar Fail racing on the outside in second. Then in third spot Leia Yunak, that's the 1, 2, 3. Istitea is now being driven along. Then Hasna Ale Red, who's also now just being nudged along as they start to make the swing. One that gets a little bit closer now from the back of the field is one of the reserves, Misael, but as they turn for home, it's Tabar Fail who's stretching on here from our Alanair in second. Istitea, the yellow cap, is in third. They're well clear of the rest, but it's a procession at the moment, and the procession is being led by Tabar Fail. 5 or 6 lengths the advantage at least as they go inside the final 200 metres here. Tabar Fail well clear. Istitea is boxing on, but as they race up towards the line, Tabar Fail was impressive over at Tafe and is going to be so here at Riyadh as well. And it's Tabar Fail just kept up to its work in the closing stages, but wins nicely. So they're off and racing. They've gone without the 7 as they make their way through the early stages of the Prince Faisal bin Khalid bin Abdulaziz Cup over the mile trip once more. And a good start was made by Lila Alem in that red distinguishing cap, and has come through to just about lead in the early stages. Also prominent in the run is Kaseb Al Maidan. Another one that's making its way forward in the early stages is Markaz in the yellow cap. You can see that one with the sheepskin noseband. Towards the outer there in the blue and yellow colours is Anna Al Saif. Also there is Fel, the 16 in the blue noseband. Another one that's prominent is Saud Al Kale. But there's a right old bun fight on for the early leadership here. Field trailing back to horse number 14, Alko Akivi, who's a long way off the speed at the moment, and so too is Alawegi as they start to make the turn for home here. Lila Alem's got a lovely position right up the inside rail there, to on the outer in second Kaseb Al Maidan, the white cap. These two have kicked on to in third position Markaz, who's got a reasonable posse as well. Right round the outer still there is Anna Al Nassef as they start to make the turn for home, and it's Lila Alem who's kicked on here, being asked a question or two, but does lead the Kaseb Al Maidan, who's now looking rather tired in second spot. Then Anna Al Nassef, who's racing in third. Trying to stay on from the back now is Tawi Al Baid, but they're all playing for place money, it would appear, at the moment, behind Lila Alem, who's going further and further clear here. This is a demolition job. Lila Alem out in front by 7 or 8 lengths. Reda Al Bari is now staying on from the back, but it's Lila Alem who's well clear here. Yet another winner for Camilo Ospina, and it's Lila Alem, far too good, and wins with loads in hand. And they're off and racing, and Jed El Khair got away pretty well in the red colours and is prominent in the run. Milan has also got away well, one of the grey horses there in the light blue and brown colours. Another one that's prominent in the early stages is Bint Always, who's getting across from a wide draw. Another one that's wide is Sana Noura from stall 18. That's going to be tricky to circumnavigate a position from there, but is going to try. Mawakit is also prominent in the run, but again quite wide as they sort themselves out and head on through the early stages. It's Thekati of those drawn low who's bagged the rail and leads to Mullane, who's racing in second, the 8, the brown cap. Then Jed El Khair, who does have a nice position, the red sheepskin noseband just up the inside. They're then followed by Sana Noura, who's also prominent as well. Then on the inside of that one, we have Bint Always, who's relatively prominent in the run as well, as indeed is Noura Lelia in the black cap, who's now just being nudged along. But as they make the turn, it's Thekati, the 3, in the hands of Abdulaziz Al Musa, who leads them to Mullane, who sits in second, and Mohammed Al Hubail. Then towards the outside in third is Sana Noura, who's just being nudged along now. Bint Always is trying to stick with them. Right up the inside now, Hezarm is making good progress as well. The yellow cap, the yellow sheepskin noseband, but swinging for home. It's Thekati, who's opened up a lead of about 4 lengths to Mullane, who's still going okay in second. Now staying on is Jad Al Khair, who just got shunted back in the run, but is now free and is making headway down the centre of the track. Over the far side, Thekati to Mullane, then Jed Al Khair, followed then by Hezarm, who's in 4th spot, and then after that in 5th, Sana Noura, who's still trying to box on inside the closing stages. They go. Thekati grimly out in front. Here comes Mullane, but also Hezarm, who's been making a good run from a long way out and now comes through to take it up, and it's Hezarm who's going to go on and score here. They're off and racing for the JCSA, the primary championship of the Arabians. And a good start was made by Good de Violette in the red jacket, also out very nicely as well was Barry's for Alexis Moreno, and it's Barry's just about the leader to Good de Violette, who sits in second. They're then followed by Vizier in that dark jacket, so it's got a very good posse at the moment, has Vizier, as they make their way through the early part of the contest. You can see the chevrons there on that one's jacket. Just working across now is Ghazi Al Zaman in the very similar colours to Barry's, and it's Ghazi Al Zaman and Barry's, followed then up the inside by Good de Violette, who's got the inside pitch, then Vizier. The yellow and red colours of Al Kayf, rather wide, but racing in around about 5th at the moment. Then we have Umran in the orange colours, followed then up the inside by Fakir de Poy, appeared for a moment there to be a slightly uncomfortable ride for Abdur Al Kradis. Arma Al Ghanim is comprehensively the back marker at the moment. Tai Al Mashna is also towards the rear of the field, as indeed is Haydar, as they make their way towards the turn, and the lead is now with Ghani Al Zaman, or Ghazi Al Zaman I should say, but Vizier is looming large in that one's wing mirrors. They're then followed in third by Barry's, who's just been relegated through the field a little bit. Towards the outer now, the green sleeves of Al Hareth getting a little bit closer. But as they make the turn for home, it's Vizier who's hit the front here and is really pouring it on to an under pressure Ghazi Al Zaman in second position. In turn, well clear now of Al Hareth, who's staying on from the back of the field and might still be a threat here. Then in fourth, Umran, who's only finding the one pace. But it's Vizier who's well clear at the moment, going on down towards the final couple of 100 metres with a 7 or 8 length advantage to, in second position, Al Hareth, who's run an honourable race but has still got loads to do here. Well inside the final furlong. Vizier just a little bit of a flash of the tail there, but is clear, and Vizier still by 6 or 7 lengths is going to beat Al Hareth here and racing up towards the line. Vizier very, very impressive. They're off and racing. Very slowly away was December, being driven along in the... sorry, it was Alfrani that was slowly away. December actually got away quite well as they make their way through the early stages. One that definitely got away well was Yatum Safa in the green and red colours. Also prominent is Made, a horse coming back for the first time in a while. December is up with the pace. The light blue sleeves of Aku Noof is also prominent as well. Mikdam Al Sad from a wideish gate is also trying to get into a prominent posse as they sort themselves out through the early stages of this 2,000 metre contest. Right at the back of the field at the moment, Nabe Al Sad in the light colours, and another one that's well off the pace is Wafi Alays, which is not ideal. Plenty of work to do from there, and also towards the rear of the field is Al Qamani. So they make their way down towards the end of the back straight, and it is December who's just about come through to take it up for Roberto Ramos, to in second position now who's in the white and green colours. Then Aku Noof in the light blue sleeves, still prominent as well in the black and yellow colours, is Mikdam Al Sad. Then towards the outer, Al-Qamani, who's also prominent. Then right up the inside, Made just being nudged along a little bit as they start to make the turn. They'll be levelling up to the home straight very shortly. Dere Al Fad is a horse who's making a little bit of headway now, the black saddlecloth and the grey colours. But as they start to make the turn, it's December that leads. Wigberto Ramos trying to boss this contest to Ako Noof, who's racing in second. Those two turn 1 and 2 as they swing for home. Now looking at trifle 1 paced in third is Made. Mikdam Al Sad is still there boxing away. Also staying on is Dere Al Fad, but has plenty to do from there. They're making the turn for home, and it's Aku Noof who's hit the frontier. Aku Noof has gone on to December, who can't find a great deal in second. They're well clear of Dere Al Fad, who's in third. From the back, absolutely flying home is Wafi Alays, but oh, so much to do. 1 furlong in which to do it. It's Ako Noof who's well clear here, now by 3 or 4 lengths to December in second. Wafi Alays is absolutely flying home, racing up towards the line. Aku Noof is going to hang on.